know, your culture is so important to the foundation of what you do. I had to let a superstar go one time for academic reasons, and it was tough, and she couldn't stand me. I had to kick her off the team. She left the school.
What if the most dominant force women's basketball has ever seen is being quietly pushed out the back door of the franchise? She's single-handedly rescued from irrelevance.
I coached Caitlin Clark for 2 summers in USA Basketball. She's got her confidence is incredible, and her ability to take something on her back, to seize a moment, is unlike many things we've ever seen.
Right now, just weeks into the 2026 WNBA season, the rumor mill around Caitlin Clark is going absolutely insane.
The Indiana Fever is being run like a local corner store. Okay, it looked like it's being run by the nieces and nephews that are just getting a few dollars to help out Unc with the business, and it's unprofessional, and it doesn't seem fit for a star like Caitlin Clark.
Even though the Indiana Fever have shown real fight, and Clark is putting up her usual big numbers, hovering around 20 points and 8 assists a night, trade talk is starting to dominate the conversation. And this isn't just casual fan speculation. Retired former NBA champion Mitchell Thompson, who currently serves as a commentator for the Los Angeles Lakers, claimed over social media that the Fever no longer want Clark on their team. Media personality Jason Whitlock made a bombshell claim that the Fever were planning to ship Clark to the Los Angeles Sparks, and that post racked up more than 2.2 million views. And right in the middle of all of it, a Fever front office employee did something that made fans question everything about this organization's loyalty to its own superstar. The pieces of this puzzle are scattered everywhere. Most people are only looking at 1 or 2 of them. But when you connect all of them together, the picture that emerges is way more unsettling than any single headline could tell you. And it starts with how we even got here in the first place. Before Caitlin Clark ever stepped onto an Indiana Fever court, this was a franchise that had faded into near total obscurity. In her rookie season, Clark averaged 19.2 points and 8.4 assists per game, numbers that didn't just make her the Rookie of the Year. They fundamentally rewired what people expected from the entire league. The Fever posted an attendance average of 17,036 per game, packed arenas in every city they visited, and finished the year 2020 after starting the season with a brutal 1-8 record. She guided the Fever to their first playoff appearance.
Lynn Dunn, the 90-year-old former Purdue coach, former Indiana Fever coach, she's out getting the messaging out on what they're about to do to Caitlin Clark.
Since 2016, jerseys were flying off shelves. National broadcast deals were being built around her schedule. Social media engagement for the franchise went through the roof. She didn't just play for Indiana. She became the entire reason people cared about Indiana. And the front office. They watched all of that happen, took notes, and then made a decision that still doesn't fully make sense. Christy Sides was fired after leading Indiana to the WNBA playoffs for the first time in 8 years. The coach who helped navigate that historic turnaround, gone, just like that. And what the organization...
I coached Caitlin Clark for 2 summers in USA Basketball. She's got her confidence is incredible, and her ability to take something on her back, to seize a moment, is unlike many things we've ever seen.
Did Next told you everything about the kind of operation Caitlin Clark was trapped inside of. But the real chaos hadn't even started yet. If 2024 was the year Caitlin Clark proved she belonged, 2025 was the year Indiana proved they might not deserve her. Injuries limited Clark to just 13 games in the entire 2025 season. She had been sidelined since suffering a right groin injury during the Fever's win over the Connecticut Sun on July 15, and that was it. Season over. But here's the part that really set fans off. Injuries to Clark's groin and quad nagged at her most of the year and eventually shut down her season in early September. Information about her condition trickled out in confusing, contradictory fragments. Fans were left guessing. Reporters were left chasing shadows. At one point, Clark wasn't even listed on the injury report the day before a game, had reportedly missed practice, and was then officially scratched less than 2 hours before tip-off, triggering immediate backlash from fans and analysts. Those concerns escalated into formal league attention, as the WNBA issued a warning to the Indiana Fever regarding their handling of Clark's injury designation. The league itself had to step in and tell this franchise they were doing it wrong. Let that sink in. And yet, even without their biggest star, the injury-ravaged Fever upset the Dream in the first round of the 2025 playoffs and pushed the eventual champion Las Vegas Aces to a fifth and deciding game in the semifinals without Clark. Stephanie White's coaching kept them alive. The roster fought. But the scars from that season, the mismanagement, the communication failures, the feeling that the organization couldn't protect its own franchise player, those scars didn't heal over the offseason. They festered. And what happened next turned those scars into open wounds. After the 2024 season, Indiana didn't just make changes. They gutted the entire operation. Not only did the franchise not rest on its laurels, the team made sweeping changes, installing Kelly Crosskopf as president of basketball and business operations, Amber Cox as general manager, and dismissing head coach Christy Sides. Connecticut Sun head coach Stephanie White was hired, a coach who had previously played for the Fever for 4 seasons and led them to the 2015 WNBA Finals. The front office's messaging was clear. It is imperative that we remain bold and assertive in the pursuit of our goals, which includes maximizing our talent and bringing another WNBA championship back to Indiana. Championship talk, bold language, big promises. So when the 2026 season started and things got rocky, the collision between those sky-high expectations and reality was violent. Clark was listed as probable for 9 consecutive games with a lingering back issue. The Fever opened the season 4-4 while allowing the second most points per game in the league, and a 184 loss to Portland marked the low point of a 2-game skid. And during that Portland loss, cameras caught something that blew the entire situation wide open.
The Indiana Fever is being run like a local corner store. Okay, it looked like it's being run by the nieces and nephews that are just getting a few dollars to help out Unc with the business, and it's unprofessional, and it doesn't seem fit for a star like Caitlin Clark.
Heated exchange between Clark and coach Stephanie White gave the rumors legs. The Fever got their butts whooped by the Portland Fire that night. It was a 20-point loss. Rumors started to circulate on social media that Stephanie White was going to be fired, and Jan Jansen, the Iowa women's basketball head coach, was going to be hired in Indiana. None of that was true. Clark denied any feud with her head coach, but the story simply wouldn't go away. And then, as if the situation needed more gasoline, the Fever fired their longtime insider and reporter of 13 years, Scott Agnes, the very journalist who had been one of the most connected voices covering the franchise. The optics were catastrophic. A sideline blow-up, a fired reporter, and a franchise that looked like it was circling the drain, all while its superstar was out there putting up career numbers. But the most eyebrow-raising moment of all came from someone who should have known better. This is where the story goes from messy to genuinely alarming. Indiana Fever executive Lynn Dunn came under scrutiny from fans for retweeting an article that suggested Caitlin Clark's spotlight was a hurdle for coach Stephanie White. The article called coaching Caitlin Clark the toughest job in the WNBA and referred to Caitlin as a sitting duck during hunting season. Think about that for a second. A Fever front office employee sharing content that frames the franchise's most valuable asset as a burden. Within minutes of the repost, Clark's fans reacted, questioning the front office's loyalty to the Fever star. And the timing couldn't have been worse, because the trade rumors were already at a fever pitch. "I'm hearing from a reliable source the Fever don't want Caitlin no more. Sparks, go get her now." That was Mitchell Thompson on social media. Then Whitlock posted, "The Indiana Fever are planning to ship Caitlin Clark to the Los Angeles Sparks." And the post went viral, amassing over 2.1 million views in a few days. Whitlock even predicted UCLA coach Corey Close would become the Sparks head coach. Basketball analyst Jeff Goodman openly challenged Whitlock's report on social media, and no
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar ended up in Los Angeles. Shaquille O'Neal ended up in Los Angeles. LeBron James ended up in Los Angeles. This is what the NBA does.
Kareem, Shaq, LeBron.
No credible WNBA reporter said anything about Clark actually being on the move. Most analysts believed Whitlock knew there wasn't any truth to it, that making a truthful, vetted report wasn't his goal, and that he was trying to stir the pot and capitalize on the attention. But the damage was done. The narrative was out there, and eventually Clark had to address it. Ahead of the Fever's game against the New York Liberty, the two-time WNBA All-Star wondered out loud why the rumors had gotten so much traction in the first place. She explained that the team didn't blatantly sit there and talk about everything the media was writing, and emphasized that she and Steph had each other's backs more than anybody. Clark's message was clear. The sky is not falling. Measured, controlled, almost too composed for a 24-year-old dealing with this level of public chaos. And that composure itself tells you something, because what happened after she addressed those rumors on the court was nothing short of remarkable. After all the noise, after the sideline drama, the trade speculation, and the front office chaos, Caitlin Clark did what Caitlin Clark always does. She let her game do the talking. She totaled 76 points across wins over the Washington Mystics, Chicago Sky, and Connecticut Sun, adding 20 assists and 13 rebounds over a 3-game stretch, earning Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Indiana went on a 5-1 run and climbed to 9-5, third in the East. In one game, she produced 21 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds, marking her 12th career game with 20-plus points and 10-plus assists, setting a WNBA record. She's now averaging a career-high 20.4 points while adding 8.3 assists and 4.6 rebounds per game this season. Those are franchise player numbers. Those are MVP caliber numbers. And she's putting them up at 24 years old while dealing with more off-court noise than almost any player in WNBA history. Now let's talk about the money, because this is where the real power dynamics get interesting. Clark, the top scorer in NCAA Division I history, signed a long-term deal with Nike worth a reported $28 million, considered the richest sponsorship contract for a women's basketball player. Her first signature shoe, the Nike Caitlin 1, launches globally on October 1, 2026. Only 2 other active players in the league, Aja Wilson and Sabrina Ionescu, also have a Nike signature shoe. She's making tens of millions in endorsements while her WNBA salary is a fraction of that. And here's the kicker. Prediction markets currently have the Indiana Fever as a 79% favorite to keep Clark, but the Los Angeles Sparks are the only other team listed, with the market staying open until May 2027. That tells you the door isn't fully closed. And with Clark's contract situation evolving under the new CBA, the leverage is slowly but surely shifting in her direction. The question isn't whether Caitlin Clark can play at the highest level. She's proven that beyond any debate. The question is whether Indiana can build an organization worthy of keeping her. Here's the honest truth that nobody inside the Fever organization wants to hear. Caitlin Clark doesn't need Indiana. Indiana needs Caitlin Clark. Every sold-out arena, every national broadcast number, every jersey sale, every single piece of commercial value this franchise has built over the last 2 years traces back to one person. And that person is currently watching her own front office share articles calling her a coaching burden, while media personalities with millions of followers openly discuss her departure. All of these rumors ignore the obvious fact that Indiana shipping off a once-in-a-generation cash cow would be the most boneheaded decision in sports history. Ticket and merchandise sales would immediately plummet to levels seen with other struggling teams. But here's what makes this situation genuinely fascinating. In Clark World in 2026, the theory that invokes the most rage, that hints most shamelessly at conspiracy and sabotage, will likely stick. The algorithm feeds on chaos. Every coaching disagreement becomes a war. Every injury report becomes a conspiracy. Every retweet from a front office employee becomes proof of betrayal. And caught in the middle of all of it is a 24-year-old who just set a WNBA record, who's about to launch her own signature shoe with the biggest brand on the planet, and who handled the loudest trade rumors in women's basketball history by calmly saying the sky isn't falling. Even Nike's timing has critics, with one notable sneaker executive calling the delayed shoe rollout one of the biggest failures ever. Everyone around Clark seems to fumble the moment. Everyone except Clark herself. The Fever are winning games right now. Clark is playing the best basketball of her career, and yet the noise won't stop because the noise was never really about basketball. It was always about power, money, markets, and who gets to control the most valuable brand in women's sports. Whether Clark finishes her career in Indiana or ends up somewhere else, one thing is already clear. She's the one writing this story. Everyone else is just trying to keep up. If you made it this far, you already understand this situation better than 90% of the people talking about it online. Subscribe, because whatever move comes next in this saga, it's going to reshape women's basketball as we know it. And you're going to want to see it coming before everybody else does.
Before going further, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It really helps us keep bringing you the content you love. Share this video with your friends so they don't miss out on all the drama and excitement.